everyone. This is Maggie Reese.
And I'm John McManamy.
And we're back at the shack.
We are back at the shack. And Maggie, do you want to actually tell us about what's back here in the shack?
Oh, yeah. If you can see, John, do you want to make sure they can see with the, or I guess maybe
I think they can see some of the stuff. But
so this is, we in the shack, we always meet here for coffee with friends, or Matt and I just hang out, because when you have a kid, you can't get out too much, so we just built our own bar here. And we've got like Matt's collected license plates from like Wyoming and Montana, and when we go on our trips we take pictures, and there's a picture of his grandpa from World War II and opening night at the Padres, because my husband loves sports, he's a sports fanatic. There's the ranch over there. My parents own a vineyard and an olive oil ranch, and a train goes around it. It's like paradise. So if you ever go to Hearst Ranch in Jamestown, it is truly paradise. It's amazing what my family's built. So there's the Chargers, San Diego Chargers. If they can hang around, Chargers.
Well, if they can ever win a baseball game.
Yeah, exactly. We got the Padres that can never win, but anyway.
But otherwise, we have San Diego.
Yeah, there's lots of things in here. Awards, kind of fun little mementos that we just put up. And when John and I were coming up with this show, we were like brainstorming, and then I'm like, oh, we should have it in the shack. The shack is awesome.
Yes.
so that's where we talk about all our stuff about bipolar.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about children.
Yeah, kids. Man, kids are so
rough. And you've got some real experience with that.
Yes. Yeah, because I'm living it right now. John's daughter is now, 30?
Oh, she's in her 30s. I hate to admit.
And he's a grandpa.
And I'm a grandpa. I've got 3 grandkids now.
3 grandkids. So,
right.
Yeah,
and they live in Australia right now.
Yeah, so you see them, once a year or so?
Once in a year or once in 2 years. And
when
they'll
they
be
can
coming over pretty soon. Yeah, all excited about that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and kids can, I never thought I was going to have children, so when I was 30, I got really drunk, and I had a big party, because, us bipolar people, sometimes we just go big and go home, and I end up pregnant, and I'm like, oh, that was,
It's like a fertility drug.
Oh, yeah, I was like, gosh, this was not part of the plan, and we had already been married for 4 years at that time, and I'm like, oh crap, now I've got to be responsible, and nobody was happy for me, because everyone told me, don't have children, you have bipolar 1, that's a serious illness, don't do it, Maggie. So I was like, and I've been hearing that for years at this point.
That brings up memories, because in my first book I wrote, I happened to mention that, what if I had known back then, if I had bipolar, right, would I have made that decision?
To have a child.
And I really can't tell you, but it would have entered into the equation.
So see, that was me, like from 19 all the way to 30, I had people, including my parents, friends, it was that thing, Maggie, you're not having kids. So I just put it in my brain, well, I'm not going to have kids. I'm going to go travel the world, and which Matt and I were already doing. We were traveling everywhere. Like, we did everything. And we had an amazing life. And I was running a little day spa, and I'm like, I don't have time for kids. And then all of a sudden, here I am. Oh crap, this little stick has just changed my life. And then I tell my parents, and the look on their face was
devastated.
They're devastated.
Which is totally different than my parents' reaction.
Right. Most parents would be like how your parents reacted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, where
but
you're
they
like,
yes! But they didn't know I had bipolar.
Right. And my parents knew. We had been to the conferences in LA at that point. We knew the consequences were bad, and especially bipolar 1's so severe, and I had it so severe that we knew this was not good. And but Matt was still living in that, like, oh, it's all gonna work out, and I ended up losing that child, and then I did get pregnant again, with no meds and no alcohol.
So that wasn't an accident. This was planned.
Yeah.
You were going to go off meds and try to conceive.
Yeah. After the accident, and I lost that baby.
Yep.
Then the next one was totally planned, and and we'll go into what happened with
In
that
another video.
in
Yeah.
a totally another video, because that's just
Another topic.
insane what happened. But having a child every day and taking care of another human being is so hard, because bipolar is so hard in itself.
It's so hard, yeah.
And then you're trying to take care of another baby
But
or a child. It's so freaking crazy hard.
But you're a successful mother.
I'm trying.
You know,
Yesterday,
you've got
I
a beautiful
wanted to give
daughter.
up.
Yeah, but that's what all parents are like.
That's true.
You know, even so-called normal.
Yes.
You know, because I mean, there's baby books, how to raise, but nobody's really written the baby books with answers in it.
Oh gosh, I don't think I've read one baby book. I'm just all, screw that.
You know, it's like, this is totally off the script. This
Yes.
is not. What do you do with? Okay, my horror story. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm living in New Zealand with my wife, and okay, so we had they divide the academic year in 3 down there. At least they did back in
Okay.
the late 1970s.
Right.
So we had. It turned out we had our baby. This is our 2nd year in university. I'm going to law school.
Uh-huh.
I'm a 2nd-year law student at this stage, and my
Right.
wife is in her 1st year of law school.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and this is like this is like the 70s, where we think we can have it both ways.
Oh yeah.
You know, like
I
okay,
got this.
okay, spare yourself of the delusion, people.
Wow.
Yeah, I think our my daughter's
That's amazing.
generation is a far more realistic. So we have this bundle of joy that comes along in break between trimesters, 2nd trimester and the 3rd trimester of the academic year.
Yeah.
And we have to study for finals, which is based on the whole year's work. Down under, the academic year is backwards, so September equates with February or whatever.
Right.
So we're into like October now. My daughter was born in August, studying for finals, trying to remember what we learned in February, and it's like, okay, we finally, got the baby down.
Yeah.
It's 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
10 minutes later, wah!
Does not work.
I've got a test in company law coming up where I'm going to have to keep my mind alert for some arcane total crap that I'm going to forget the next day anyway.
Oh yeah.
But I can waste a whole year, I can throw my life behind a whole year. The baby had us under control.
Yeah.
It turned out my wife and I got through it.
That's
But
amazing.
it was a nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
It was a freaking nightmare.
I know it is
Yo.
a freaking nightmare. You cannot say those people that are on the commercials that say it's so wonderful. I'm like, really? What universe are you living in? Because it's not that way. Real life is not that way.
Yeah. There used to be this cartoon called Little Abner, and they had these mythical babies called Schmooze, who never pooped in their diapers.
Right.
They just
I want to schmooze.
they just looked cute all the time, and
Right.
and that's great. My daughter was so cute.
Yeah, Allie was real cute, but man, when it started going all over, like I'm at a Starbucks, I finally get to go on my first outing, and I meet my friend Lanny, and I'm so excited to meet her. And we get to Starbucks, I get a drink, and Allie's all contained in this little stroller thing, and all of a sudden I smell this awful smell, and I realize it's from my little cute bundle, and it's exploded everywhere. I mean, the stress,
It's biochemical warfare.
It is biochemical warfare. It just took me to here, and then it took me 2 days to recover from that stress. So kids, whether they're a baby or a little 2 to 4 year old, or they're going into mine's a tween, I guess they're called. She's a 9-year-old. Or you're a teenager, or whatever the phase is. They're really hard. Really, really hard.
Yeah,
And you
with
throw bipolar in the mix.
Yeah,
and
with child rearing, the first 25 years are the difficult years.
that's what you got right there. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade it for anything, because it's also the most rewarding thing I've ever done. So
And you've made it work as a bipolar mom. So
how do I do it?
What are your secrets? Yeah.
For me, I have to we did a couple episodes ago, we talked about timeouts. I give myself a ton of timeouts so I don't yell at my daughter, because I don't think it's going to help her having some yelling crazy mom like on what was the book called? The Ya Sisters, the Ya Club.
Oh, Secrets of the Ya Sisterhood?
Yeah, the Ya Sisterhood, where the mother is like beating on her kids, right? I do not want to be that mom.
Right. I didn't want to be that dad.
Right. Or the mom, or she's like drinking and hitting them with a stick. That is not me. And so I have to walk away from Allison. I have to be like, Allie, listen, mom is having a rough time right now. Give me 5 minutes, then I'm going to come back and we're going to deal with this. And maybe that's not what a lot of parents do, but for me, I have to do that. I got to step away from the issue. Last night,
even normal parents have to do that.
Yeah, it's just, last night I was so mad because she wouldn't go brush her teeth. And finally I was like, you know what? You want your teeth to rot out? That's fine. I got to go take a bath. And Matt's like, what? What's going on here? But I was just so mad. And I'm like, you know what? I've got to walk away. So I went and took a bath, and she went and didn't brush her teeth and put her headgear on, and was like, whatever. But you've got to let some things go sometimes.
Right. Pick your battles.
And the teeth weren't going to happen. They're not going to rot out in one night. But got to let a lot of stuff roll off my back. Otherwise, I'm going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I was not aware I was bipolar at the time, but I knew for my own sanity, and it was good for my child's upbringing. I devolved a lot of responsibility onto her. Mm-hmm. She made a lot of decisions. Okay, I'll give you one example. Mm-hmm. Took her to play school. They called it something different down in New Zealand. Okay,
right.
So she's about 2 years old, and she comes out of her room so proud. She says, "I dressed myself." Okay, but she had her dress on inside out. Okay, so I am not the uptight parent. It's like, wow, you dressed yourself. That is fantastic. So I took her to play school with the inside out dress. I said, she dressed herself, and I gave them the evil eye, like, don't even think about
redoing.
Yeah, because it would have undermined everything. She was so proud. She took responsibility.
That's awesome. And
she's grown up to be this wonderful adult. And I think it's I got to give her mom a lot of credit too.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't there in a large parts of her life because we had a broken marriage.
Right.
But this thing of devolving the responsibility to your kid.
The independence.
Yeah. Let them make choices. Validate their choices because
they can do it.
They can do it. She's gonna.
John and I are not the helicopter parents.
We're not the helicopter.
Because we can't be.
We can't be. And guess what? Our kids. Maggie's kid is turning out great. My kid is so awesome. It's unbelievable.
Yes. Yeah. I remember Allie.
And guess what? She doesn't wear her dresses inside out anymore. She's in her 30s. She figured it out somewhere along the line.
And they figure out to feed themselves. Allie at 2 was pouring her own cereal with the milk and just feeding herself because she knew mom was in a medication state haze.
I got to give you a story. Yeah, my daughter's 4 years old, and my wife and I are lying in bed, and she comes in and says, "I made you breakfast." Okay. She had the good crystal, which meant she had to reach across to all these other glasses. Okay. She put chocolate ice cream in the good crystal, and she had cut up apples. So she was out in the kitchen.
That's awesome.
With a knife.
Cutting.
A 4-year-old kid with a knife.
But she did it.
And I got to give my wife credit for not freaking out.
Yeah.
I didn't freak out. It was like, oh my God. She could be there with slit wrists. And
I know.
She could have crashed the crystal cabinet or whatever it was on her.
But they did it.
And so we had our chocolate ice cream breakfast in bed with...
In the china.
Yeah, and it was it was so kind and considerate of her to think of making breakfast in bed. So this is, I guess, it's kind of weird parenting stuff, but it's like, man, trust your kid. They
can do a lot, and you can do a lot as a parent, and I would tell you guys too not to overdo it with the schools. I am not going to be the PTA mom or I only do a little bit of volunteering, because if I get all in there, I will unravel, and then
Yep.
how's that going to look for your child at the school when a parent is unraveling at the school?
Not too good.
So I come in and out a little bit at a time,
And
that's I have to do that.
And you're keeping your daughter healthy too,
Oh,
because
yeah.
she's not stressed out about
Mom.
Yeah, you're not going to be a problem.
And I've seen that
for her.
with other moms that do have bipolar. I know of those situations, and the poor child is the one that gets it. They get
Right.
it bad from reputation. Oh, that's that parent. So you
Yeah,
don't
and even
wanna
normal
be
parents
there.
can be like that.
Yes.
Yeah, they get so involved in their kids' life, and then they turn their kids into nervous.
Right.
Yeah, and I think society is good at that. I think that's why, like, mental illness is, it just seems, in spite of all the meds and treatments that come out, you know, there's just more and more depressed and anxious people every
Yes.
generation. And
Yeah.
I think our stress-filled ways of raising kids are part of that.
Oh, for sure. You've got to let them fly, just like my parents let me fly
Yeah.
when I got out of the psych ward and I moved to San Francisco. Mom had to pull away and let me survive in a city. She had to realize, okay, Maggie's got to go live her life. I can't coddle her. How would I ever have gotten stronger from bipolar if I wouldn't have gotten out there in the world and figured out how to survive?
And
Just like we have to have our children survive.
Yeah, and I've seen that in the advocacy world. You know, you've probably seen it. You know, you go to conferences and stuff, and you see these parents with their kids in attendance. You know, kind of just coddled.
They're making sure, don't kill yourself, don't kill yourself. It's almost like that, right?
Yeah, right.
They're like, don't do that. But these
And
children,
and it's so hard for them to interact with other people. So
Yeah.
I
Yes.
see these poor. You know, these are grown-ups.
Yes. They're in
but
their 20s,
they're in
and
their
their
20s,
parent
and
is
they-
going like this.
Their parents are hovering, and so they're making socially awkward comments to people. So they're never going to break out of their shell because it's so hard to
Yeah.
carry on a normal conversation. I can cite zillions and zillions of examples.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I know, you know, growing up with a mental illness is very challenging in itself. But you know, this idea of the parents feeling they have to be a protective bubble around their kids
doesn't
is
work.
self-defeating.
Oh,
yeah.
totally self-defeating, and it's pretty fun. I didn't even know I developed this reputation until later, but Allie's buddies, they all want to come to my house because they know Maggie's got all this fun food, and she lets them play all over the yard, and I don't sit there and watch and tell them every little thing what to do. I'm like, go play in the dirt, go jump on the trampoline, go get hurt. You know what I mean? You've got to let kids explore. Go down in the creek and float on a boat. You know, that's what I did, and I feel like that's why I'm a stronger person, because I felt things, I did things, and I want that for my child.
We explored, you know, and that's why I think I'm, you know, creative. You know, I live a creative life, and part of it is, and almost, you know, you can almost say it's a neglectful upbringing, but it's a good.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. Yes, yeah.
All right. Well, thanks guys for tuning in on that.
And here's Maggie's.
Here's my story. This one is about my personal journey at 19 as a runner, and I have another one coming out soon about being a mom. So stay tuned for that. And this is John.
This is my bipolar expert series. This is the first book about moods, not just up and down. And be sure to subscribe to our channel and get on our mailing list.
All right. Thanks,
And
guys.
See you soon.
See you soon. Bye bye. All right.
My mind alert for some arcane total crap that I'm going to forget the next day.